Soul Infused Monday Show. I'm so excited to be here with you today with my special guest, Holly Dowling. And if you're new to the show, it's every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern. And Holly, I'm so excited that you're here with me today. So send us some love and some likes and leave us a comment below that we know you're there. And Holly, do you mind to just start with saying a few words about yourself and what you do, what your passion is about, and then we dive right into the topic of today. And
I love it. And Sonia, I have to say, I'm laughing already because I love that you're all about the authentic true self, right? And this is why you and I are so connected. And I just want to come really clean with everybody out there right now to say, you know, today was one of those moments where it was so apropos. I mean, to give you in a nutshell, I'm really blessed. I get to be a messenger around the world of what I believe is inspiration and messages that bring hope and inspiration to people all over the world. And I work a lot with leaders of organizations globally. All of that said, one of the greatest gifts that you gave me this morning was so that everybody knows I'm really real and transparent right now. I literally thought this was audio, and 30 minutes before, when I found out it was video, that authentic self came out, and I'm like, you know what? You don't have time to get yourself all primped up and looking good, and it is time to be real. And I was like literally running around going, oh my gosh. And then it occurred to me, Sonia, some of life's greatest gifts come in the most unbeknownst moments and packages. And I believe my life has been one of those. And today is a celebration. I didn't worry about anything. I'm like, I'm going to be with you and let's run with it and go. And let's talk the real story. So
yes, I love it. And just for you, what you just said, I just want to bring it out. It's like our biggest lessons or, breakthroughs are going to come in the most unexpected moments. And even just seeing that as any challenge for us is such an opportunity. Instead of, falling back into, oh my God, and I have to be all perfect, is really, yes, it is about being authentic. It is about being real. And you just said to me, the words for today are trust and surrender. And I trusted so 100. I know, and for you guys that are watching and don't know Holly, we've been working together before. She hosts a great show called The Celebration of You. And I was on that show once, and she interviews a lot of amazing people. And so I know her, and the only thing I said to her, it's all going to be fine. As long as you are your amazing self, everything is going to be just perfect. So, Holly, thank you again and for sharing that. Sometimes I want to make sure they hear and hear us. Okay, do you see and hear us well? Leave us a comment below so we know we're live. And if you do have any questions for Holly or myself, put them in the comment section. Even if you're watching the replay, Holly and I are going to come back later and really check, and we're going to answer anything that you have for us. So Ida is here, says hello. Okay, thumbs up. We are good.
I love it.
One of the things that I also shared on Facebook is that as you really overcame some big challenges in your life. You went through a lot of pain also, life challenges, and you not only overcame them, you made something good out of them. And I want to talk a little bit about today, and I've talked about this a lot, that the things that happen to us happen for us.
Yes.
And it's always an opportunity. And would you mind sharing a little bit of your own experience and why you are actually so passionate now doing what you do?
Well, I'd love to say which story, Sonia, right? Yeah. I think for everybody out there, I just want to thank you for being with Sonia and I and for taking the time wherever you are in the world. Because to me, you're taking the time really for you. And I think that's one of the biggest things we struggle with is giving ourselves permission to have boundaries, to learn how to take care of ourselves. And that has been a lifelong challenge for me. And when you just asked me that question, like which story, and I'm not kidding when I say, well, which one? So I kind of have this mantra, and I have to tell everybody out there, I truly believe in the bottom of my heart. And Sonia, you just mentioned my show, The Celebration of You. That was a mission put on my heart because I truly believe that every human being out there, it doesn't matter where you live, your education or not, what gender you are, we all have a story and we've all been through our stuff. And for many years, my stuff was pushed in a corner in a closet. I was so ashamed to talk about some of the stuff because what would people think, right? And I think a lot of us struggle with that. So it wasn't, Sonia, till like a couple years, just about 2 years ago, year and a half ago, that, and you know this, that I started talking about some of these, and I call them the gifts. Yes, they were really low, dark times in my life. And yet what I realized, like many of you, those dark times, and I'm going to get goosebumps as I say this, because I can't tell you, and I'm going to look you in the eye and say, I can't tell you that during those really dark times, I ever saw a light at the end of the tunnel, or I ever thought that this is going to turn out good. No, I'm human. There was days I screamed at God and I would cry my eyes to sleep and go, this is not happening to me. I can't do this. And yet now in life, I look at those moments and I have chosen to not live in woe is me. I've chosen to live in wow is me, because today I am the rich, and I mean rich, not in money, in character, the resilience, the person I am. I can look at that stuff and say, thank you, because of that, I can help other people and I can truly understand the shoes you're walking in. Because that was one of the things, I mean, Sonia, in my article, and that I finally came clean about, it's spurred a whole movement now. But many, many years ago, I was the hands of a very, very abusive human being. And it came so out of the clear blue. Like, how does a girl that was the homecoming queen end up, you know, I can't even tell you on this, I wouldn't want to say the vulgarities, but I was told every day what a horrible person I was. And it, you know, looking in a mirror and not recognizing your face. So all of that, you know, and that was just one of, I know what it's like to lose everything, have a sheriff take my home, and at the same time have a child diagnosed with cancer. I also know that life is full of beautiful blessings and miracles. And I'm here today. I never gave up. Twice I wanted to. And I'm with you today and doing what we're doing, not so that we can dwell on the past, but so if one person out there today on this beautiful morning, wherever you're sitting or living, or you're in Greece tonight, that if you know you're not alone. You're not alone. And I believe that it takes one person willing to reach out a hand and just say, I've been there and I will do whatever it takes to help pull you up and pull you out, and believe that there's something better that will come. So I could go on. And I know I told you there's a lot of those little stories, but I don't, you know, it's like, are we a victim or a victor? That's one of my, and you don't have to be perfect to be priceless, gang. I had to let go of the perfection thing years ago. Threw that out the window, right?
Yes, you know, you said so many good things, and for, you know, like, I think we're so much on the same page here also, that it's about how to use it, and what you said resonates with me too. And I only a couple of weeks ago shared something that I have never shared in public either. And of course there's shame, there's so much that comes with it. And you said something that, but just by us doing that and having gone through that experience made us who we are today. And without, even though looking back, and I'm sure you feel that, you know, when you look back and you see, wow, you know, what a sad story. Without those stories, we wouldn't be able to help the way we do. And my reason sharing that, it's not only about you and me, it's about you that are watching, and you have something in you that you kept inside that's still kind of like blocking you, that still keeps you in prison. It's really about giving you permission to see that your story, your trauma, your pain has a gift for you, and you are not alone. Yes. So thank you for sharing that, Holly. And would you, for our audience, for anyone who resonates right now and say, hey, Mike, I have this and I still struggle with it, do you have an approach or a few tips to say, hey, how can you start revealing and how can you start healing with the use of a support system, or in whichever way?
That is a really great question. And I think people hear it a lot. And I'm going to be really, really honest with my answer. I have to be. I think it's critical that you eliminate all emotional vampires from your life. You have got to be really, really clear about the energy you're around And it's time to start eliminating the toxic people and situations. And that took a lot longer than I ever realized, because for some odd reason, we feel obligated to be around people or to do what we continue to do. You get one life, gang. And I truly believe this life is a gift that's been given to us from something much greater than us. And what we do with it is our gift back. And I say that because it's time to own how you're spending your time and energy. And negative people, toxic people, I call them emotional vampires, to be so blunt, drain the life out of us. And they're the ones taking everything and leaving you depleted and dying on the corner. So part of this support system is getting a clear picture and realizing who lifts you up, who brings out the best in you, who believes in you when you don't even believe in yourself. So first tip is make a list of the people that truly, even if you haven't talked to somebody like Sonia, you'd be one of those in my life. We don't get to talk very often, but the minute we met, it was just like this soul connection, right? And it's like, we know that if we're halfway across the world, that if you need that lift from somebody that can give you that, that's people that mean something to you. So who are those people that lift you up? Make a list of them. Don't just think about it. Get out a piece of paper, go alone, and write a list of the people that truly are there for you. I call them your balcony people. Number 2, the most important thing to me is my spiritual time. And I truly believe that if it doesn't mean being religious, gang, this means knowing that there's something very special within you and your spirit and tapping into that. And that is my number 1 most important thing every day of my life. No one gets that. And that is that pure time in silence, whether you pray, you meditate, what you read, what fills your soul. So that's number 2. And Sonia, you asked, so I'm giving you the 2 to 3 tips, right? What it's going to take.
It was the best stuff.
Well, and I think it's what we need, right? Like, I wish somebody would have told me, Holly, get rid of the toxic people in your life. I've been like, oh, I never thought about that, right? It sounds so simple. And then the spiritual piece, which I have to just really press in on this one. I don't know that I would be living today to be sitting here with you had something much bigger than me held on to me. And I believe there were angels and whoever was there to keep me going and help me see. But if we don't tap into that, and we all have it, you're missing out on the gold mine that you have to offer. To me, silence is nectar for the soul. So taking time to listen to your spirit, far better than reading a bunch of books and filling your brain. Just take some time for this. And if you really do, I needed support groups. I mean, coming out of a very, very serious abusive situation, I won't kid you guys, I was in that situation for 488 days. I can count every single day. And it took me a good 7 years of therapy to heal. So I believe there's great support systems, great therapists. What are you willing to do today to say to yourself, tomorrow I want a better day. 12 months from today, what do you want that to look like to be living a healthier, happier life? Because you don't need permission from anybody to do that.
Yeah. Thank you, Holly. And I think I get some comments here. Isa's like, yeah, exactly, timing, great, thumbs up. And if you have any questions for Holly, please in the comment. She's super happy to answer them for you.
Oh yeah, I'll answer anything, Sonia. You know that. You can ask me anything, gang.
No, and I'm all about energy. I'm all about bringing the soul into our bodies. And I know it's sometimes easier said than done, but just to hear it, like remove the negativity, the toxicity out of you. And that alone takes also work, because, I mean, why do we allow that? Is because we don't know better. We think we don't deserve it. We don't know how to set boundaries. We don't even recognize it because we are full of those belief and conditioning. So just hearing it from you again and again, because I hear it from me, but I always, people need to hear it from a different source to let it sink in sometimes. And when you say it, I feel like really it comes from such a deep place. And I want to really emphasize what you said about the spiritual practice, whatever that looks for you, but I would not be alive, Holly, as same as you, if something else would have not been guiding or without me knowing back then, right?
Right.
Now I'm very clear, and time for yourself, taking care of yourself, for to listen in, to be in silence, to connect to your soul, to God, to whatever it looks like for you, is so, so, so crucial. So thank you for bringing that up.
Absolutely.
And what are you will to do? I don't. I'm not so sure if that's a question. Ida, if you have a question, I can't really see it properly, or I don't know if this is one. So I just want to make sure no question is.
Okay. Yes, please. Yeah, we'll take them.
So and Holly, from a perspective of when we are in it, it's really not that easy. From an outside, like once we are over, over it, it's easier to see. Like, oh my God, I'm grateful. This is good. And it takes time. You said it took you 7 years. I think it's super, super important. And I love that about you. And I'm very always honest with that. Transformation and healing does not happen overnight. These things are so in us that trauma, and for me as an energy person that sit in the system, but can you talk a little bit more about that? Because sometimes I think there is this concept of, I want to just heal quickly and I don't have time. And yet, can you talk a little bit more about that? Because it's the difference between staying in hell and a life of freedom, joy, love, and abundance. And so, yeah, if you don't mind talking a little bit more about that.
No, I don't mind at all. And I love that you just said it is the difference of living in hell. And let me tell you guys something. Trust me when I say it took me that many years, and it didn't happen overnight, and it didn't happen without a lot of setbacks. And what do I mean by that? I was brilliant at attracting without even realizing why and how I was doing it. I was magnetizing to people that wanted to control me. And so this wasn't the first, I got myself right back into another bad situation without even seeing the writing on the wall, Sonia, right? And so I think this is really important. It doesn't just happen overnight, and it doesn't just happen by saying, okay, I'm going to start like making a list and doing a few things differently. No, this takes work on you and having to be really aware, and I'm not going to blame the world. I'm big on not blaming other people for our situations. That's the one thing I feel like we all need to do. Is time to get to own and be accountable for the choices you make. I don't sit around and blame anybody for where I ended up. What I've chosen to do is say, what do I need to do differently to start ending in a different and better situation? And to have a healthy relationship, I've got to work on Holly to figure out, why am I in bad ones, right? So it does take time, but nobody can do this for you. And I'm going to tell you this right now. The best therapists in the world are not going to do it if you're not willing to walk the path with them. This is a two-way street, and things will not change, and you'll end up worse than hell. You're going to end up in what's that sinking? See, what's the stuff that sinks in the ground, Sonia? Like I used to say, that mud that people always talk about, they just sink in. I mean, seriously, if you want to get out of hell and you want to be able to see what life is like on a better side, you've got to be willing to take the time and put the time and the work in on you, because you're beautiful, you're priceless, you're amazing, and you are a gift to this world. And all of that means nothing to me or Sonia or anyone else if you don't believe it yourself. And Sonia knows this about me. I'm big on the power of no. And I know we hear about this and people talk about it, but I don't believe in the word work-life balance either. I think it's work-life boundaries. As I think anymore today's world, right? Work-life, it's all one. If you're doing what you love, it's part of your work and your life, but we need boundaries so that we can take healthy decisions. And the whole thing about the power of no. And I'm going to speak to this a little bit more in gender specific. I think women struggle with this more, Sonia. And I do believe men do, but women, we don't know how to say no because we're always saying yes to everybody and putting ourselves last. And when you can flip that paradigm shift, and here's the permission I want to give you to anybody out there listening, is you're actually doing the world a really flippin' disservice by saying yes to everybody. That's not helping anyone. See, don't you see, when you say yes to everyone, we're only getting a half-assed version of you. When you're willing to start knowing when to say no, then what happens? You open up a world of opportunity of where you can say yes to be leveraged at your best. And that, my friends, is where I'm at in life. And it's the greatest experience. And I choose joy. So I choose to say yes in opportunities like this, being with you today. We booked this, like 3 months ago. And I'm so excited. And it's like, say yes when you really get to bring your best. And say no, and no, you're not bringing your best anyways. We could do a whole series on that one, Sonia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, boundaries, I love boundaries. It's one of my favorite topics, and I mean, we're coming slowly to an end, and we could speak about this part, and I will come back. However, I am so happy you brought it up because it's so, so crucial. And there's so many underlying issues. What you said, it's easy to tell yourself or read a book. However, what's actually really preventing you, that's the work, and when, usually with your clients too, with my clients who work closely with me, like they don't transform overnight either. They get to learn how to really say no without feeling guilty. What's the fear underneath? And what you said, like every time we say yes, yes, yes on the outside, we say no to our own truth. And that's what you said is like, that's not a service either. So I love this topic, and you're so, so right. And for me, it's also the difference. Setting boundaries means your own space, you value your own space, you are able to take care of your own space. And when you don't have that, you do not have a life. I mean, I'm very clear on that. If you do not have your own space and you are not able to say no and to take care of yourself and be true to yourself, you don't have a life. You live someone else's life. The one thing you said that I do not want to miss to repeat that I thought was super important, and I keep saying that, it's really about taking responsibility and not blaming. Mm-hmm. Like what happened to us in the past, it's not our fault, what happened in childhood, but however, now it's our responsibilities. And not about blaming those people, it's about looking into what is Holly doing or what is Sonia doing to create this in my life. And that's the work. I love that you said that. So it's not only me saying that, listen to her.
Sonia, can I add one thing to this? Because it's really coming to me very strongly. And I know you and I, when this is the world we live in, I think sometimes it's easy to take for granted what we've put into our life. And I want to share this one ritual that really changed my life. And I want you all to know, and if you can do this, if you're not driving a car, just do this right now. Grab a piece of paper and just draw one horizontal line and one vertical line. So you're like making a cross, or, just two lines, one intersecting the other, because then you're going to have 4 quadrants. And this is the day that my life changed. It was so simple and yet so profound. In each of those 4 boxes, I wrote 4 words. There you go, Sonia. In one box, the top right was spiritual. The next one down below that was physical. Over to the left, to the next one was mental, and top was my emotional. And I'm sharing this with you all because it's everywhere. My definition of success and happiness for me, Holly, and I believe we all have a right in life to clearly figure out what your definition, there it is, girlfriend, there it is, definition of happiness and success for me. If every day each of those quadrants are filled, that brings Holly joy. That's my day. My spiritual is the most important time in the morning. And then my physical, always doing something physically active. I believe that it's not just the internal organs. It affects your brain. It affects how everything about us. And by the way, guys, I'm not like a marathon runner. I just want you to know, like this morning, I was in the pool with my buoys, and my husband teases me. He's like, you were in there 10 minutes. But it's so, yeah, mental. I love my work I do, especially with people around the world, and I love working with leaders and organizations. But what am I doing every day to stimulate myself mentally and be using my gifts to provide a service to the world? And then emotionally, what am I doing to take care of Holly emotionally? And that means having my boundaries too. So figure that out for you. I had to share that with you, Sonia. I just had to.
I think it's so crucial because, and it's so normal for us sometimes that we don't even think about that anymore, but you want to start somewhere, and I'm the same. And a little bit every day is better than nothing. Like, I used to be so controlling with myself. I was like, when I was in super control exercising mode, like I did not go out if I wouldn't exercise for an hour, right? And then I not exercise for a week. Like, it was totally unbalanced. So rather do something 10 minutes, it's about moving. It's about moving your physical body to have a holistic approach. No, I love it. And I love the basics, the foundation, the simplicity of things. You do not need to know anything new.
Right.
Go back and build that foundation of who you are in a healthy way. So thank you. Hey guys, so I would say this, if they have any questions, we are happy to stay a few more minutes. If you don't have any questions, I would say you're not using the opportunity. Right now, I'm here right now, like you do have a question that you want to spread out, because even if you think, oh, it's not so important or this or that, you know, we have so much stuff going on in our heads. And I know there's a little delay sometimes, but if you have one question that you can ask Holly today, you have about 2 more minutes to write down, and you can get some personalized coaching. This is priceless. So you
well, I see there's a lot. I can't see the comments, but there's a lot of comments. So as you're kind of looking at those, and I mean it, Sonia, yeah, ask me anything. You just said something after we were talking about the quadrant, and it is, you know, I could say this and I could scream it at the top of a mountaintop. There is nothing about what we're talking about that is rocket science. As a matter of fact, I think our world has gone into a spiral that has gone off the grid in having to feeling that we have to overthink everything and all this strategy we have to put in place. And one of the reasons people say, I have all my businesses referral around the world, and they're like, what is it? What are you doing? I go, I'm throwing out strategy. You see, what we've lost is we're so focused on treating people as knowledge banks, we forgot to treat people as human beings. Yeah. And actually, ladies and gentlemen, this is all very much common sense. It's just not common practice.
Yes. So, I do have a question, Holly, real quick, so that I don't miss it. Ida is asking, Holly, what is your morning ritual that sets your day?
Oh, I love that you asked me that question, because it's my favorite part of the day. And I just want to do a huge love and shout out to who asked me that, because you just played to my heart. Number one most important thing, the minute I get up, and by the way, the coffee's already gone and on, I have 2 devotions that I read every morning. I start with a moment of just deep silence and prayer. And I have to tell you, because you asked this, I used to think that praying to God and talking to God was so important. And what I realized is stop talking, pause and listen. So I kind of ask for the word for the day. And today, as I shared at the beginning with Sonia, in my prayer and quiet time, I heard trust and surrender. And I got 2 words today. Every day you'll get a word if you'll just go to silence. And then I read a couple different things that fill my soul and my spiritual side. And then I end with, if I am home, the end of that ends in the pool. I'm in the water, because that to me is the closest thing to me, my highest power of God. And I feel spiritually alive, physically alive. So thank you for asking. You just made my day.
Then I have another question. It kind of goes within it. So thank you, Holly, for answering that. And Natalie is asking, if you are unable to complete, and Natalie, you know that I wouldn't say you're not unable. I love the question. If you are unable to complete your morning spiritual practice, how do you keep your day in line? Great question. Holly, go ahead.
Great question. And I will tell you that no matter where I'm sitting, even in a hotel room, this is the most important part of my day. Now, I don't turn it into an hour, you guys. This can be, I always say, start with 7 minutes. You can add 7 minutes to your morning every day. Just get up 7 minutes earlier. To me, it's right about a 20-minute ritual. If I feel for some odd reason that I've had to cut it short throughout the day, and I hope all of you do this, and if you don't do this, start it today. Throughout the day, just in a minute of a moment, just pause, close your eyes, and just say this word to yourself. I just told my mom this yesterday. Be here now. Just pause, breathe, and say, be here now. And it just recalibrates. Look at me. I'm getting goosebumps as I said it. To me, that is my reset. You can do it 100 times or 1,000 times a day. You can do it in an elevator. You can do it anywhere. So, Natalie, thank you for asking that question. I'm loving these questions. Sonia, do we have more time? Keep going.
Kirsten is saying, thank you, beautiful, love this. And Natalie, yeah, great question. Thank you for asking it. And I love what you just said. It's really about, if you don't take the time in the morning and you can just to stop, take a breath, yes, and come back to the present moment, come back to yourself, and rather do that several times a day is super short. And I love that you said 7 minutes, by the way, Holly, because I mean, 7 is, I don't know why, and I don't really pay any attention, but 7 is one of my favorite numbers. So start with 7 minutes. And it's like, yeah, I love that. Okay, let me see. There's one more comment that I want to read. I don't know if it's a question or not, but maybe I show it here. It's even easier. Love the simplicity of the quadrant. Yes, if you have not had boundaries as a child, then it doesn't come naturally. Yes. Thank you for the for the reminder. Codependency is my biggest challenge now, learning to trust my inner wisdom more since following Sonia. Okay, super. Thank you, Gail. Great.
Love that.
And there's any other question? Here, Gwen has a question. Hi, Gwen, by the way. What's your number one tip for regaining alignment when you feel knocked off course in the day?
Oh my gosh, Gwen, I already love you, because guess what? That's what happened to me this morning. And I was just starting this off with Sonia going, somehow or another, I missed that this was going to be video. And so my day got knocked off course. And you know what, Gwen? I have to say, my words this morning were trust and surrender. And I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, sending these messages to Sonia going, oh no, I don't know if I'm going to have the office lit up right. And, you know, I mean, all of this. And she's like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. My husband was like, it's going to be fine. And Gwen, the fact that you just asked me that question was the greatest reminder to me today, when I thought my day had been knocked off course. And as a matter of fact, it wasn't knocked off course. It was a reminder to Holly to trust and surrender and be present in the moment. And I let go. And within 15 minutes, I just kind of had to let go of all the stuff I was worrying about and just trust that when I get on with Sonia and with all of you, it's all going to be just the way it's supposed to be. So back to what I just shared a few minutes ago, I literally closed my eyes walking into my office and said, be here now, let it go, trust and surrender. So that's my tip, my love. And it happened today, real time.
That's a great question, Gwen. Great. I love you guys. You always bring up so good energy and good questions. So thank you for being here. Holly, thank you for being here. And I can't wait to do something again with you. I could talk to you every day.
I know.
And you guys, if you have other questions or you're watching the replay, don't hesitate. Put it, comment it, use the opportunity. This is so great stuff. Holly is amazing and super happy to share anything with you and answer any questions. So Gwen is saying, thank you, beautiful, fantastic. Okay. And follow Holly. Go on Facebook. Go and where do they find your celebration of you
oh yes.
podcast? So, yeah.
Yes, they can go listen to your interview on my show. It was about a year ago, and we're going to do another one, kind of call it part 2. So get ready, everybody.
Oh, Holly left. What's happening?
Celebration of you is on.
Okay, Holly seems to be disappearing for some reason.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to wrap this up if she's not coming in back in a second. And I will actually leave the link to her show and how you can connect with her here on the thread. So go and check it out, connect with her, follow her. She's amazing. Thank you so much for being here today. I love you. I appreciate you. If this was valuable to you, click the share button and share it with someone that needs to hear this today. And come back next Monday again at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern time. And have a fantastic rest of your day.
Bye.